Hello, Dr. Sushma Singh this side. Today we start Unit 30, Civil Society Movements and Grassroots Initiative. We have briefly talked about the emerging role of civil society in contemporary development practices. In this unit, we shall be discussing in detail the meanings and dimensions of civil society, its changing role and status in developmental processes. Civil society itself has emerged as a social movement in recent years, while it has always been part of larger social movements in society. The interface between the civil society and civil movement has been a subject matter of curiosity to sociologists. We shall discuss this facet of civil society in this unit. Along with the state and the people, civil society has emerged as a partner of development. The World Development Summit 1995 emphasized the role of civil society in the empowerment of the marginalized. Here, besides discussing civil society as a social movement, this unit also analyzes the role of civil society in the empowerment of marginalized people in society. While we are discussing marginalized people, it is imperative to discuss process of marginalization. A small discussion on marginalization and empowerment of marginalized people is also part of this unit. This unit will also provide us a critical overview of civil society's role in development. Now let us move to the point: civil society meanings and dimensions. The term civil society is derived from the Latin word civil, societas, which means associations or communities that work above and beyond the state. Civil society thus consists of a host of institutions that look after the activities which are not taken up by the state. These may relate to various religious, cultural, economic, and other activities of society. The medieval Church of Europe, Hindu mass, Sikh gurdwaras, Muslim mosque, and other religious trusts in India, caste and kinship associations, business, sports, cultural association, etc. represent the civil society. It is important that civil society is also referred to for its moral value and authority, as the state is more akin to an administrative unit. Civil society, in opposition to the state, lays the moral foundation of society. It is in this sense that civil society has widely been viewed as an epitome not only of moral authority but also as a bastion of culture against the state. The law and capitalism. However, the dimensions of opposition in civil society has been in a state of flux as its relationship with state. The market and capitalism has not always been the same everywhere and at all times. However, today we tend to see civil society as the home of culture, of freedom, of independence, which enables us to reign in the state. Importantly, civil society has long been playing a pivotal role in influencing the state's policy on social welfare, articulating views on current issues, serving as the voice of constructive debate, providing a forum for the exchange of new ideas and information, initiating social movements by way of creating new norms, identities, institutions. Civil society is, together with the state and the market, one of the three spheres that interface in the making of democratic societies. Civil society is the sphere in which social movements become organized. The organization of civil society, which represents many diverse and sometimes contradictory social interests, is shaped to fit the social base, constituency, thematic orientation, and the types of the activity. They include church-related groups, trade unions, cooperatives, service organization, community group, and youth organization, as well as academic institutions. Civil involvement has always been an inseparable part of the development process of human society. In Putnam's argument, higher levels of civil involvement gives rise to social capital, which in turn makes possible more civic involvement. In Gramscian sense, civil society is the terrain where the state, the people, and the market interact, and where people wage war against the hegemony of the market and the state. The status of civil society organizations has been widely explained in terms of their relationship with the state and the market. In Tocqueville's view, civil society represents a vision of politics and democracy that is non-state centered and that has taken root in contemporary social movements and non-government organizations. However, to the liberals and the neoliberals, civil society is organized around the market economy as a non-political, privatized delivery system for services such as welfare, education, healthcare, clean water, and so on. In recent years, there has been a phenomenal proliferation of the civil societies all over the globe. Social scientists have attributed this phenomena to the crisis in the states on the one hand and the market trump on the other. At times, the state is beset with a legitimization deficit that destroys the conditions of its own stability, paving the way for the civil society. Notwithstanding such a debate on the pro or anti-state stand of civil societies or that of state failure of legitimization crisis, civil societies have been viewed as a force for democratization, counterweights to the state and economic power, and have emerged as alternative vehicle of citizens' participation at both the national and transnational levels of governance. Their activism and initiatives have also been viewed as a movement for transformation of regional, national, and global politics and economics. Many scholars, however, see the civil society beyond the state and market syndrome, as the state and the market contribute something but not everything towards the cohesion and the dynamics of the society. Indeed, there is a need to view the civil society both as a structure of organization, social and political space and relationship, and also as a process, the ways in which the elements of structure come into being and interrelate. In the wake of globalization, introduction of the structural adjustment program and the paradigm shift in the social development strategy has been an attempt to redefine the role of the state and the civil society. In the emerging scenario, the emphasis has been on the increasing role of the civil society to take the burden off the state by involving citizens and communities in the delivery of the collective goods, and on strengthening of the abilities and opportunities of the civil society and local communities to ensure the process of empowerment of the marginalized in society. However, in the contemporary development discourse, there has been a process of involvement of social society organizations along with the state in the formulation and implementation of development initiatives. What have been the relationships of the civil society with the people on the one hand and the state on the other? What shall discuss this issue in the following section of this unit. Let us begin with the relationship of civil society with civil social movement. Here we want to close this lecture. Thanks for listening.